God has perfect timing, as we know. So my question in this study is the Feast of Tabernacles / Feast of Ingathering that perfect timing? Now looking into the meaning of the Feast of Tabernacles and Ingathering, we see that by definition it means a gathering of laborers. And laborers could mean angels in the flesh out of the earth, that we're living in like a temporary dwelling place, a tabernacle, our earthly bodies, so to speak, to go home to a permanent dwelling place in heaven, and tabernacling and associating with God, living with God and Yahushua. Now the feast itself, um, the Feast of Tabernacles / Ingathering, is in total an 8-day event, starting on the 15th day of the 7th month, and the feast goes for 7 days of the Feast of Ingathering. And then the 8th day is considered to be a special Sabbath day. Um, so that would be on the 22nd day of the 7th month. And that's the extent of the Feast of Tabernacles Ingathering. Now this year, on our calendar for these dates, we'd be looking at a time frame of the 5th through the 12th of October for these feast days to happen. Now we're told in the book of Jubilees, chapters 16 and 32, that first in 16:21, we're told that Abraham was the first to celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles on the earth. And indeed, he celebrated it for 7 days. But then Jacob, who was then named Israel after that, also celebrated it in chapter 32, the book of Jubilees. And specifically, it's interesting to note that an added day was given to it, and it was specifically called the addition. As in verse 27 says, he celebrated yet another day and sacrificed thereon according to all that he had sacrificed on the former days, and called its name addition. For this day was added in the former days, was called the feast. So the addition day was actually on the 23rd day of the 7th month. Now, following this on our calendar, we find that the 23rd day of the 7th month would be on 13th of October 2017. I find it interesting to note that the Hebrew word for addition is Hebrew word 7235. And within this definition, we see the words bring in, bring up. We see archer. We see also nourish. And all of these words seem to be very indicative of what could be happening around that time. Now, Revelation 6:2 specifically says, and I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Now, we've always thought of this being a definition of Sister Sherry's fight of the Oregon War, and the bow, the weapon with the unconventional weapon of Oregon. So it's interesting to note again that it indeed specifies the word archer in this definition of addition. Definitely need to notice also the words brought up, to be indicative of being redeemed. And of course, the word nourished, where we also see in Revelation 12:14, into the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place. Again, that could be the place that Yahushua has prepared, uh, Enoch's planet, and where she is nourished. So all that word within the definition of addition are very um, revealing possibly to what could be happening at that time. So Second Chronicles 7:10 says, on the 23rd day of the seventh month he sent the people to their homes, joyful and glad in heart, for the good things the Lord had done for David and Solomon and for his people Israel. So this 23rd day of the seventh month is the day of addition, is the day that uh, they finally leave their tabernacles and go to back to their home. So I think that this could be an indication of possibly when um, the elect actually leave and head back to their home, from their temporary bodies to now their permanent bodies. Malachi 4:2 we see, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings. And we do see in Revelation 12 uh, the mention of the eagle, uh, the wings of an eagle. And I believe this wings of an eagle is Yahushua. And the in verse 13 of Revelation 12, we see that the woman brought forth the man-child. But in Revelation 12:4, it says the woman which was ready to be delivered. So the woman is being delivered from the man-child, Yahushua, coming onto the woman to bring her home. That's what I believe, and I believe in a roundabout way, the birth canal can be basically the sun, the portal to the heavenlies, and that's how he's going to come to us, and then we will be going with him back. And again, looking at this date of October 13th, and through this program of Stellarium, we do see the sun itself in the area of the womb of the virgin woman, which I believe is the elect. Um, and and we see that right after that, the sun is coming out of that position and no longer within the womb of the woman. Now, it just so happens that on October 12th, the position of the sun is almost the same as on the 13th, just a little bit higher. And so I believe that Yahushua could be on his way even on the 12th of October, as we do see in Leviticus 23, uh, verse 39, it does say, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And what do we find about mention of Sabbath in Ezekiel 46:1? We see that it says, thus saith the Lord the God, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the 6 working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be open, and in the day of the new moon it shall be open. Now this would be considered a Sabbath. I don't know if it's the same type that they're talking or if both types are what they would be talking about in this scripture. Yeah, but if so, this would be a day in which Yahushua could be coming uh, through that gate, as it does say, the prince enters uh, and leaves through that gate, the east gate, on the Sabbath. We're still waiting to hear that Sister Sherry has seen the sign. And until we hear that, really, all I've done here in trying to say what could be happening on certain days is null and void. It all starts with Sister Sherry seeing the sign, in my opinion. We got to get that out of the way, and then we'll know that indeed we are right on track. So, with that in mind, I'm praying, and I hope all of you will join me in this in praying that Sister Sherry sees that sign. Now, Wednesday, October 11th, is the last day of the 7 days of the actual mention of the 7 days. Now, Leviticus 23:39 mentions these 7 days, and this day of October 11th would be the 7th day of this, that it mentions you should keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days, and this one that you've gathered in the fruit of the land. And of course, we are considered as first fruits. So, being the 7th day of October 11th and a Wednesday, I looked into the meaning of Wednesday and putting the English definition of it in the Hebrew definition together. Wed means get married to, become husband and wife, and of course that's the plan for Yahushua to marry us. Matthew 25, of course, talks all about that, coming for his bride. And the Hebrew word for nest, 5251, actually means signal, sign. So that's very apropos as far as what we want to have happen here. We want the sign to be given, and wouldn't it be something if the sign could be given on this Wednesday of October 11th? Of course, if it is, then everything else that I've mentioned in this study should fall into place, and it very well could, as mentioned and described. Of course, these are just thoughts. Don't know if they're going to happen or not. I don't know if they even really make sense. I've just tried to put this together, trying to fill in some time while we wait. We've been trying to be patient, as Father has suggested to us, and trying not to be discouraged, trying to instead be encouraged. So I hope this study could be encouraging, and could be how it plays out. We'll find out. Either way, we still love Father and Yahushua, and we're still waiting, and we're a day closer, no matter what. So that's a good thing. So Yahuwah bless you all, and I hope you've enjoyed the study. It's been a pleasure doing it.